Good afternoon, everybody. I am Gladys, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating easily. I promised to be here sooner, and I haven't. But what are we talking about? We're catching up on the cake from this weekend. Much of it I started earlier on in the week when we made the curd and we made the lemon cake. I ended up making some extra cake. Hey everybody. So I ended up making some more cake, as in, yeah, the cake was great. I wish I could get the feedback of the customer. I think let me see if I can pull it. Let me see if I can pull it. Let me see if I can pull it. Ooh, let me see. Do I have it? I better. Oh, I've got it. Okay. Oh, something is itching my eye, people. Bear with me. Them falsies can sometimes sit a little heavy. Right. So what do you do when a customer sends you? Let's see if I've got the feedback. Let's have it. Okay. Right. There is 4. Okay. I've got it. Let's get back to what we're doing. There's Tabitha, how are you? Who is that? Lady Lately, Tabitha, everybody, how is everybody? Good to have you back. Great to be here. Let's just say there's a good reason why. Let me drink some water. There's a good reason why your girl has got commitment issues, okay? There is a real good reason why I've got commitment issues. Because you know why? When I told you I'll be here at 2:30, life was lifing. And yeah, there was a small moment where I'm like, is this going to be it? Is it? But you know what? We are here today and Thursday. I am just confirming that with you, just so that I know. Am I here on Thursday? Yeah, I'm here at 2. Let's say 2:30, 3 p.m. on Thursday. I'll see you on Thursday. People, Tabitha, I'm good. Ready for construction. Oh, yeah. Tabitha says she's well, but she's ready for construction at her house to be done because she is finished with it, the noise and the chaos that brings. But think about it this way. Your house will be the best. Best state it needs to be in when the construction finishes. So this is just a season of chaos, like a small temporary moment of chaos for the benefit of like a nice place to be that you will be happy with, and your roof will be amazing. You will not risk a roof falling on you, people. Did you see? Now there is 7 of us in the chat. I'm just going to be shameless to say 7 of you, including me. So there's 6, me and 6 of you. If you haven't liked the video, please do consider liking the video. Please do, because it has become more important. Now, I'm not going to be shy about it anymore. I used to be like, people, if they care, they will subscribe. If they care, they will like the video. They will hype it. They will do. If they care, they will. Just do your best and leave it. No. Okay, I need your attention here. I need your support here. YouTube is changing. It has become more important than ever that you support your favorite creators by engaging with the content. So there is 6 of us here. Okay, 5 now. How many of you saw the community post? I'm just doing a survey. I just want to see who saw the community post I posted. There's a reason why I'm asking, okay? Who saw the community post? If you haven't seen the community post, it's fine. I'm just asking because the subject of our live today was posted in the community post for you to see first. So, okay, Seasons did. That is Steph. Steph did. Faso is back. Faso, darling, how are you? So Faso is here. So here's the question: who saw our community post today? Seasons. So out of us, let's say 6 people, excluding me. Including me, there is 7 in the chat. Okay, Tapeta didn't see it. Okay. Seasons did. Faso, did you see the community post? It's fine if, you know what, even if you were asleep, at least you should receive notification, as in if you open your home page, as in your For You page, and you're scrolling, I should be showing up somewhere if you're subscribed. And of course, Tabitha, I know you are. So, okay, Arinze says I didn't. Okay, so you know what? Let's have a conversation about that for a minute. Because not only am I asking for the purposes of a survey, I'm also asking so that we can see in real time what is happening. And this is not a fault of yours, people. Let's just be clear. This is like a general conversation about, because I experience YouTube differently to you. You're the person watching. So if I go to watch, my experience is different. But the point is, my experience as a creator is going to be different. So let me bring you in a little bit. YouTube has changed a lot for creators. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I can't speculate on that subject at all because I don't know. But what I know is that YouTube has changed. And the way YouTube has changed, look at your own feed at the moment. The suggestion of content that you are not subscribed to, but you kept being fed. And if you do deviate from what you are used to watching and you watch something else, you get bombarded with more of similar stuff and different random things. Like in my homepage as a watcher of YouTube, I see content that I don't recommend, that I haven't signed up for, I have no relationship with, and it's all over my feed. And if I have to watch something, I have to go and enter the details of what I want to watch in my search bar so that I can go watch them. There's not a lot of people I'm subscribed to, but there's a lot of different types of content that I watch. My point is, YouTube has changed, at least temporarily. My point is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if that is going to be a long-term thing. YouTube changes every now and again in moments, which becomes very pivotal to the platform. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. What I'm saying, though, is that because YouTube is changing in the way it shows you the content, it affects us as creators. And I can't even pretend that that is not important. Because as much as I love what I do and I want to talk to you about cake, and I'll be talking about cake in a dark room, it takes a lot of effort to show up here. It does. It takes quite a lot of effort to show up here, to give my time. My skill, I will always have. The value, I will always provide. If I met a random lady at the bus stop, I will talk to them about cakes. Cakes is something I do. I love cakes. I will talk to you about cakes. But the truth is, when you have to make it into content, there's a level of commitment and time that goes into it that can be difficult to kind of make sense of if YouTube is changing in the way you consume content. So here's the deal. It's not your fault YouTube is not showing my content. It's not anybody's fault, especially because the subject of be consistent is not the thing here. How many years have you and I been hanging out here? YouTube hardly pays me. I make up to about just £20 a month based on my showing up here. But for £20, why? But I'm not complaining about the £20. My point is, I'm not monetized enough to just show up and lose your attention. And that's not because you don't care about me. That's because if YouTube is not serving you the content, then the platform for which you and I have a relationship has changed. Then I'd rather go and talk to somebody on the bus stop about my cake, because then I don't have to do all of this. And then I don't have to set up this. I don't have to buy equipment. All I'm saying is that it has become more important than ever. And I used to be one of those people who just like chills out over here. I don't talk about this stuff a lot. And I just trusted my own ability and skill, because that's what I can control. Give you the content and trust that it's serving what you need, and then you make an informed decision to hang out. So I used to be the person who will be like, if you want to subscribe, great. If you just want to hang out, great. Neither is here nor there. I will say my position on that has changed. Okay, my position on that has changed, in that, am I serving you content that you don't care about? No. Am I forcing you to do anything you don't want to do? No. My point is, I am actually asking you that for us to continue to have this relationship and for me to show up consistently here, you have to make the effort of almost bypassing YouTube now. So you can't depend on YouTube to serve you the content, because then it will not tell you when I'm here. And if I'm not here, or if I'm here and you are not told, then you miss me, and then your life moves on. And so if your views don't count, and yet that tells YouTube that your viewer satisfaction is low because their watch time is low, then my content gets kicked to the left side. And so it means like I'm pouring time, value, and skill down the drain, because YouTube doesn't actually allow you to engage with the content. So I'm only asking that if I say to you, I'm coming back on Thursday, check back in, check the community post, because now I realize that I have the, it is now my responsibility to make sure that the consistency that I promise has to remain, so that you also know what to expect from me. So when I tell you I'm here on Thursday, okay, make sure you check the community post, just to make sure that there's an update. Today, for instance, the subject of our conversation was going to be the cake I made. But if I spend the next half an hour talking about the cake and you haven't even seen that post on the community post, you will have no concept or reference point to the cake I'm talking about. Do you see what I'm saying? But that is also because probably YouTube hasn't notified you about what I've posted, or you probably have missed the opportunity to search for what I posted. So it has become more important than ever that we check in with each other on the community post. We check the content that is posted. Who saw, I posted the lemon curd, the video on the lemon curd. Who has seen it? Show by hands who has seen it. Okay, Seasons. So Season got the notification. Season has seen it. Who has seen the lemon curd video? It's just a survey. Don't feel guilty or don't feel bad about it. The intention is just to kind of collate some information so that we see what YouTube is doing. So show by hands. So Steph is amongst us here. So out of 5 people, so 1 in 5, that is like 20% if you like. So 1 out of us 5 people on the platform, Steph is the only person who has been, who saw the community post, and she's the only person who has actively watched. Perhaps it's because she's the person who has actively watched the video, YouTube then keeps her updated about me. But if you don't make the effort of watching the, okay, Faso has seen, Faso saw it, and Faso even left a comment. People, I am just asking you sincerely, if you watch the video, even if, look, I don't believe that every video is going to be for everybody, because we are all here for different value sessions. Sometimes most of you probably enjoy the lives more than the tutorial videos. For other people who want to build skill and learn more about other things in a very long form produced way with a bit of personality, but more on the teaching of the subject, the long form content will serve you better, right? So it's neither here nor there. Even if you genuinely do not enjoy a video for the moment, you can register your interest. You can register your thoughts about it. The engagement is really important, because YouTube feeds all that back to me. Because then when I post a video, I have to go back and look at the analytics and try engage what is next, as in the next video idea and stuff moving forward. And so YouTube told me, oh, the lemon curd video it's good in terms of its viewer retention, because it's about a 7-minute video, and almost 50% of the video watch time is what is consumed, which is higher than my average. My average is about 38%, and my videos are normally about 9 to 12 minutes long, right? So nearly 50% watch time is a good thing. However, there is no engagement at all, as in there's nothing in the comment section. So it's telling me to kind of update the comment section with a pinned video to encourage interaction. I will say I haven't always been the creator who has been bothered about those things. I'm like, I made the video, I want to teach you something, I've put it here. If you want to see it, great for you. If you don't want to see it, I'm sure you will like something else, okay? And the something else would be when I'm over here doing the live and feeling mindless and chaotic and all of that. We don't all like the same thing, but all I'm saying is that it has become more important for YouTube to know that the community that we are building supports you. And by supporting me, it's not just showing up on the live and being engaged over there. It also includes all the formats of content that I produce, because YouTube judges me by the formats, all of them. It doesn't tell me, oh, just because I create lives and we all have fun on the lives, it's okay. No, if I post something in the community post, I realize though that my community posts do get much of the engagement because you people are active in the comment section, which is amazing. So YouTube makes a point of even updating me how many likes and comments. And if it only stopped there, I'd be a happy person. I'll be over here, okay? I'll be happy. And I am. However, YouTube is changing, and YouTube keeps telling me it is my responsibility to encourage your engagement, because otherwise I get punished. And after a little while, I mean, YouTube paying me 18, 20 pounds a month, which I don't receive per month, by the way. Let's be clear. YouTube doesn't give me the 18 pounds per month. It waits until I get 60. So let's just say every quarter of the year, I receive 63 pounds or 65 pounds from YouTube. Can you imagine? It's wild. I don't know who is the people making a living on YouTube. I think they need to come and tell us some secret we don't know, okay? I say all that to say some of my favorite creators that I have enjoyed watching are leaving YouTube. They are, because they are all moving to Substack. I can barely even create the content I need to create here, let alone to move to Substack. Okay, I'm not. I am loyal to YouTube, at least for now. But the worst case scenario will be, okay, let's all shits and gigs and leave this thing over here and then let my life move on to the other side, because that's a real possibility. But that's not something I am aiming for. All I'm asking is, let's all be aware that YouTube is changing so much, and your favorite creators more than ever needs your support. The little like, the little comments underneath the video to say hello, or just say something, or talk to each other. You don't even need to compliment the video. Just talk to each other, like, and keep it going, because all of that, Marcus, tells YouTube bots over there that, you know, the video has satisfied your interests. And so YouTube then puts it in front of other people, because those recommendations, which used to be one of the biggest markers for how successful a video will be, is gradually being cut back. And my suspicion will be, I don't know this tech stuff, but it almost tells me that YouTube is looking to utilize the advancement of AI to the point where at some point creators might just have to pay it for the videos to be boosted for recommendation. Hopefully we don't get there, but it's a real possibility, because at the end of the day, YouTube is a business, and the business of YouTube has to change and adapt with all the advent of new technology. That's a lot of babbling about technology, which isn't what we really wanted to talk about, because actually the conversation today was about the cake I made on the weekend. I wanted to bring you the background information about the order process and everything that went into the cake. But here we are. So let's go and look at the customer reaction when I sent them a photo of the cake. I'll give you some background on it, summarize the information about the cake, just to give you a back-end information about like the behind the scenes of the making of a cake. And then when I get to making the tutorials, at least you have something to look back on. So normally the conversation about should you send a photo to a customer for before they pick up, there's that conversation ongoing all the time in the world of cake making, where other people are like, I never send a photo. Other people say there's no hard fast rules about it. I do though. I do it because for my own self-soothing, okay? Because sometimes when one second, I do that for my own self-soothing because I'm a custom cake maker and I don't sketch, and I've said that time and again, much of my concepts are discussed via writing. I can describe how I can make you the cake and what it will look like, and I can almost bring you close to a similar cake which can be represented, but I can't sketch it for you because then I don't know how to sketch, by the way, that's all. And I refuse to use technology to sketch because much of what I do is how I imagine the cake. So until I get to my work table, which is the last point, it's almost like it's sitting in my head. I don't know if any artist has that problem, but when anybody approaches me with the cake, I'm just like, I'm looking at them blank until we collect all the information. And then I describe the cake to them by word. The real meat of the design comes to light when I get to my work table. That is when I begin to kind of offload everything. So for me, it's important that I send a photo of the image of the cake to the customer before they are on their way for collection, because then I feel like the imagination I had and what I've created is completely satisfied, so that they are not in for a surprise. And it also buys me the time, just in case my imagination is not what they want. It gives me time to kind of like reset things before collection. Thankfully, in all the years of making cakes, I have never had anyone be a problem but one. This is going back years ago, and this person wanted this particular cake, and I told them they are not getting the exact cake. It will be an adapted version, and they agreed. I sent them a photo, and then they turned around and said, oh, the cake looks silly. And the only difference was that the theme and everything was the same. They wanted a white version, and I incidentally made it a pink version. So just because of the color, they literally just went, oh, it looks silly. That's not what I wanted. So I asked them then to describe what they wanted, which was the exact photo as in the inspiration photo. And I told them, I said, I do not represent other people's work exactly, but it was too late for me to kind of do anything. So I said to them, if it's the color you want changing, I will do it, because I sent them the photo overnight. And so I spent the night almost pulling away all the design decorative details to cover the cake in a fondant, and then they paid the balance to the cake. They were happy to pay more for the color to change rather than keep to the pink cake. And so from that experience on, I have always wanted to send a photo just for my own like comfort before collection. So besides that one incident, I don't have those issues, but it's always like reassuring for me when I send that image and then the customer comes back and it's like, wow, I love it. And so I know I'm not going to have any drama, and I'm not going to get any surprise reaction on collection at the door. So for that reason, I sent this customer a photo because they were really, really good. Communication was nice, and it was like your typical customer. Like most of the customers I get are like reasonable, like good people who just want a cake and they don't care how much it costs, right? So we discussed the detail and everything. They're like, okay. And then they sent an inspo image. I will post it in the community post. Check the community post. But if I could put it on screen, I would. So anyway, we discussed the cake. We went on to making it. And then so when I created it, I sent them a message overnight because the cake was due to be collected in the morning. And it was in the lines of the cake has been done. Here's your collection time, because we also discussed collection time in advance so that everything is kind of like set in stone, so that I don't wake up to anybody going, oh, the collection is at 1, but can I come at 6? We are not about that life over here. So this was their reaction and their feedback, as in the immediate feedback on seeing the photo. Wow, wow, wow. 4 wows. Okay, when I opened my email and I saw that, I was like, okay, job done. Goodbye. I don't care what gets said after. Okay? I do not care what gets said about. She's like, this is absolutely stunning. What a piece of art. I'm blown away and I'm truly amazed. You've got this 100% spot on. Thank you. So that was the immediate feedback. When they collected the cake, they were so kind. And they were just like, you know, when a customer is just happy. This customer was just beside herself. So excited, really happy about their cake. She came with her mom, who the cake is for, and mom was sat in the car. So I gave the cake to her at the door. We had we caught up about, you know, the communication inconveniences, because she had so many questions to ask, and at every point I will respond in a detailed way to reassure her. Like, I don't know how people make custom cakes by just, hi, I want a cake, send me a photo. I don't know how to do that. I'm just as long-winded on the emails, just as much. So my ordering process is quite like longer than you would think. And that's because I need a lot of clarity. Like, I need to be clear on, because I think maybe I'm caught in my head about the fact that I don't sketch. Because if I could sketch the element for you, as in the design for you, then I won't have to prove it so much, maybe. What do you think? So yeah, we go back and forth a lot. Like, by the time a cake is collected from me, we have like a ton of emails over there. So we caught up on those, and she was like apologizing for how like curious she was, and there's so many questions. I'm like, no problem. My biggest problem is, hopefully I have time to respond to all those emails, because half the time I ain't got time, sis. Okay? Half of the time I ain't got time. So yeah, she was really kind and nice, and she did promise that, I think the cake is going to be eaten today, and she did promise that she's going to send me some feedback about it and leave me a Google review if she got to it. Normally I don't expect it anymore, but when they do promise it, I hope they do. And if they don't, it's okay. At least they're happy with their cake, and my job is done. But if you don't know what cake we are talking about, it's the cake on the community post. It's here, the excesses of that cake. Here's the excesses of the cake, like the rest of the decorative detail. We have some of the flowers from that cake left. That's why I said, if you hadn't seen the community post, it's probably a good thing for you to check and see the image of the cake, because then you have a reference point. But besides that, Denai is back. Dawn, hello lovelies. How are you guys? How are you? Great to be back. There was a short moment where I was like, can I make it? Can I? But we made it, right? The bees, if you've if you've seen the bees on the cake, they were all handmade, but I wanted to record a session of the bees and I didn't, because, one second. And I wanted to record it, but I was working late in the night. I was tired, and I thought I just wanted to enjoy the quiet without the pressure of recording, so I didn't. So hopefully, maybe on Thursday, I'll come back and I'll show you how I made the bees. Who wants to see the little mini bee tutorial? And the daisies, the fondant daisies, those were handmade as well. The fondant daisies. I'm sure if you wanted to make a fondant daisy, you would know how to make them. They are very little flowers over here. But I think it's the middle of the daisy. Like a daisy is fluffy in the middle, and I used a small technique to make them. So if you want to see how I make the fondant daisy, show by hand, and perhaps on Thursday I will come and show you how I made the bee themed cake. But otherwise, people, that has been me and the weekend. I am so glad I was able to achieve quite a few, more than just a few things on the weekend. As in, the week was incredibly busy. I was able to complete the lives, even though I wasn't very certain. I was able to record the number of videos that I was aiming for. As I speak to you, we have the lemon sponge, which is already recorded and out over the weekend. There were quite a lot of cake related things I needed to do, which I was able to do. And on the front of my well-being, the bloods came back. All is well. The concerns that I had isn't as bad. There are just like some health recommendations that have been made, but on a general scale of okay, it's much better than I thought it would have been. So let's hope I will keep up with the lifestyle changes and follow the doctor's orders on the small stuff behind the scenes, and hopefully you will see your girl a lot more often. But yeah, that is just to say, people, don't worry too much about me. Don't worry too much about me, because yeah, I came and told you they couldn't find the bloods. I had to go back, get it done. I did, and yeah, there are just a few changes here and there, but my worry was that if they came back and was like, oh, cholesterol and all of that is all skewed, that would be a bit of a problem, right? Because your girl can't be sick, right? But in terms of everything else, it's not as bad as I thought. And all I have to do is continue making good choices around my health and well-being. So, as always, thank you for the care on that front. Tapeta and the people doing the roof. Oh, I was just about to ask a question about the roof, because I'm just thinking, I forgot, like, for a minute, I forgot we are not in the same time zone. So I'm like, how did you sleep if they were like knocking the roof up? But clearly they don't work at night. Dawn, how are you? How are you? Who is giving the roofers big problems? Anyway, for those of you who saw the lemon cake complete with all the comments, what is the one thing that stood out to you about the cake? Baby girl out here letting Tapeta lose neighbors. The color. Yes, the color. Okay, thank you, Steph. Right. Yeah, interestingly, I wanted the yellow to be hints of yellow rather than the cake be yellow. But when you think about lemon, when I think about lemon, I think about spring. I think about the season that we are in, right? So the color was appropriate. Thankfully, it wasn't just chosen by me. It's the color of the cake that the customer showed, except I brought a variation. I made it a marbled look, like an umber marble look, which is, it starts from the bottom being a stronger tone of the yellow, and as it goes up, it becomes lighter and lighter. Some of the design details that I had on it, if I post the inspiration image and the finished cake, both, there are similarities in that the core themes of the cake remains, and the core theme is the bee and the daisies. The customer, when the customer placed the order, there weren't supposed to be rose flowers. That's the thing with custom cakes, you see. if you bring me the idea, my goal is to keep what is important to you closer to what you have showed me, but to reinterpret or reimagine the whole design. So when I was kind of thinking about the design element, it was last minute. I just realized that whilst the customer hadn't ordered rose flowers, I had ordered this as part of a cake. They were bulk purchase, a prior cake that had gone out. So I have these left over. And as I was designing the cake, I thought to myself, the top was going to be bare, or I would need a lot of daisies. The before and after images that the customers sent, you would see the before and the after. The before, as in their inspiration image, was cluttered with daisies. And I just realized I didn't fancy looking at a cake that was just covered in fondant daisies. It looked cluttered. It looked very unpolished for my visual perspective. So I thought if I reduce the daisies, we're just going to have a bare looking cake that has nothing on it, and the bee would be a standalone, and it just didn't look right. So I thought, what can I add to bring depth and texture, but also highlight the different variations of flowers? And just by coincidence, I had the yellow flowers, so I put that to the side. It wasn't too much because obviously that wasn't what they'd asked for, so I didn't want to overdo it. But at the design table, I realized that if their inspiration image included roses, I would have probably added more to create a cascade. But it wasn't overly done, okay? But I'll tell you, the thing that I couldn't do though was that I didn't really like the hexagons. The hexagons are obviously a representation of they represent the honeycomb, right? I didn't like them. I thought there could have been a better way to present the honeycomb, but in the discussion with the customer, it was important to them. You know, customers sometimes get stuck on the details that are important to them. I could re-represent the honeycomb by using chocolate and what do you call it? The bubble wrap. When you have bubble wrap and you put tempered chocolate or even candy melt, it takes the form of the bubble wrap and then it looks like honeycomb. I could have done that, but the customer was caught on the detail of the hexagon because that is what was in their inspirational photo. So sometimes it's like you can add on to a customer's preference of a design, you can't take away what is important to them. So whilst I love the design of the cake, what I didn't really like very much was the hexagons because they looked a bit out of place. And I was like, what was the point? But I loved the bees, the fondant bees. I tried my best to make them look cute. And in my head, I was like, I was almost edging to a point where I wanted to make them cartoonish. And then I had to kind of wake myself up and realize it's for an 80-year-old. Nobody wants cartoon bees on an 80-year-old's cake. So yeah, the customer loved it. I just read the customer feedback. You probably missed that. Yeah, I read the customer feedback earlier, where they were like, after preceding their message was 4 wows, as in wow. And the cake is absolutely stunning. What a piece of art. I'm blown away and truly amazed. You've got this spot on 100%. Thank you. That was their response. So people, they loved the cake. The design was all put together. The color was vibrant. And hopefully when they eat it tonight, they know that the homemade cake and everything else that has gone into this cake has been made out of just sheer passion, skill, and love for what I do. But of course, when they come back and give me the feedback, okay, I'll come back and talk to you as well. So perhaps people, I know I was supposed to be here longer, but I have to move on to other things. So let's say goodbye to each other, and I will see you on Thursday. Keep an eye on the community post for updates, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you all for the love and support. Appreciate you being here always and supporting me always. And I'll do my best. Your girl is back. I'm showing up. So let's have fun, because that's what this is all about. Having fun, loving each other, making cakes, and just living. Have a good one. Mwah.